Hi guys, Dogo here with a new video, and this video will be a Frost DK PTR video on the War Within 11.1, which is next season, and I wanted to show you guys the new things that they have for Frost DK. There are not a lot of things. I'm gonna talk about a few things that are like related to everything, to every single Frost DK out there, which is the tier set first and foremost. The tier set is a winning streak tier set, like all physical, no, not physical, but melee DPS have. So it's not jackpot like, for example, the casters have. It's a melee DPS. Your spells and abilities have a chance to activate a winning streak, so increasing the damage of your Frost Strike and Glacial Advance by 4%, stacking up to 6 times. So it will be 24%, and I think in PvP it will be only 12%. Frost Strike and Glacial Advance have a 7% chance to remove winning streak. And when winning streak is active, causes Frost Strike and Glacial Advance to have 8% chance to cast a Frost Sight per stack at 30% effectiveness. So it means that you could have 6 times 8%, and that will give you and grant you some pretty significant damage from your Frost Sights, which is again not a lot of damage in PvP, but in PvE it might be very good. But losing winning streak, so whenever you're going to lose it by using Frost Strike or Glacial Advance, you're going to get Murderous Frenzy, which basically casts a Frost Sight at 100% effectiveness. Still not great in PvP, but it is what it is. But you also gain 12% haste for 6 seconds, which I think it will be 6% in PvP. Additionally, Frost Sight deals 40% more damage to the first target struck. So the damage is not going to be fantastic. This is really considered a PvE tier set. You have, again, most likely the possibility to play only 2 set in PvP. You don't need the 4 set. You could go only 2 set and only get the benefits from getting more damage on your Frost Strike, which again complements really well with going for the hero talent, which is the Rider of the Apocalypse, because this one will give you 20% more damage on your Frost Strike as well. And in general, it's going to be a very good tier set for Frost Strike damage. Now, again, you should not go out of your way to get 4 set, depending on your allocated stats. For example, crit mastery, why not if you're dual wielding? Haste versatility, which is a good piece, you should maybe go for that. Haste mastery, shoulders, you should probably go for that as well. So those 2 pieces are like guaranteed for Unholy and for Frost DK. But like, for example, haste critical strike is not that desirable, and critical strike mastery, which is okay, but there is a lot of crit on the tier set, like your crit hands, crit legs, and crit chest, which I personally don't really like, especially if you're not dual wielding. If you're dual wielding, maybe, but if you're like playing a 2-hander, it's not going to help. So I would be playing, if that stays how it is, most likely only the helm and the shoulders, and then the rest will be like conquest like pieces. And in PvE, most likely you're going to go for 4 set, because Frost Sight is something you're playing already, if I'm not mistaken. But if you're PvPing, this is like not going to be even talented. So it's a nice to have, because it will cleave a bit, but you also will break CC for sure. Although to be honest, like if you're a Frost DK, you will break CC anyways because of your abilities. But it's not going to be great. And if it's only for the haste, you could probably get the haste by just swapping those pieces. You would then have versatility, or you go for haste mastery, which is probably the best pieces that you could go as a Frost DK. That's an example again. I don't know how the meta will be for next season, so it could be different. But for now, I'm planning to only go 2 set. Now, it's not to say that it's only for Frost DK going to be the case. The truth is, Unholy DK, you might and you should probably go for the 4 set, but that's for another discussion. I still wait for a bit more changes towards Unholy DK to actually make a video about it. I think there is like little to discuss except the tier set, so I'm gonna keep it like that. One more thing, I maybe will discuss a bit about things that are for all specs, which are the sets. I think they are magnificent. The mythic one is really cool if you're doing mythic raiding. The heroic one is also frost, like it's a frosty cake set pretty much. The normal one is like the nerfed mythic one pretty much. It's the same but like less flashy. The raid finder is more of an unholy DK set that might be just a very good set to get by just doing LFR. Your glad set is quite cool as well. It's like more of a frosty cake kind of set. And then you have the elite one, which is purple, which is also quite cool as well. I think most elite sets are purple. If I'm giving you like something random, for example the hunter one, the elite set is also purple. So I do believe like every single set is going to be purple. I'm gonna test the warrior one. It's also elite and purple. So just wanted to show you guys a bit. The purple one is going to be the PvP elite set. I think most people are going to like it and they're going to grind for it, which you only need 1800 or 1600. I don't even remember anyways, because normally getting duelists is not it's an investment, but it's not like that big of an investment, since that you have solo QRBG and solo shuffle, which kind of makes you, if you can actually get into those games, it's going to be probably easily achievable if you're just playing the whole season. Except if you have like big losing streak, which can happen, but still. But the video, why did I make it? Well, I think Blizzard did make a great thing, which is a PvP talent. They changed the stun talent. So the stun talent from Remorseless Winter is gone. It's a shame. So you will have to play most likely absolute zero if you want to have a stun, or you're playing with a, for example, windwalker that has a setup of a leg sweep, or you needed to have a AoE stun setup from your allies. That is possible, but you don't have a AoE stun anymore with your Remorseless Winter. You also don't have like a long CD anymore on Remorseless Winter because of it. So it's on 20-second CD. It's going to be quite good to slow everyone, to do some consistent damage. But this is doing a lot of damage, guys. Pillar of Frost grants you Remorseless Winter and increases its damage by 1000%. And you did read it right, 1000%. And its radius by 150%. But your movement speed is heavily reduced for its duration. So it means that you are going to be very slow whenever you're going to press Pillar of Frost. You will not be zooming, so you will have a need to stick with the target by slowing them, gripping them, stunning them. You are kiteable, so there is a outplay mechanic to that. And Pillar of Frost also even gets a cooldown increase by 15 seconds, so it becomes a 1 minute CD even if you're taking Ice Cap. But this is a very strong talent, and I do believe it is with BGs and RBGs in mind, but in arenas you could also make very much use of it. You would think Remorseless Winter has a small radius, and yes, it is a small radius. For example, if I'm here, I touch him. If I'm here, I don't touch him, right? So it's only like, it's not even written, 8 yards. If you are taking 150% of 8 yards, I think it's around 20 yards, maybe 22 yards, I don't remember. 150%, so it's 100%, it's 16 yards, and 50% out of that, it's 20 yards. So 20 yards around you, which is pretty big. So I'm going to show you the damage that it can do. Remember, there are a few talents that you can take to improve your Remorseless Winter. This is not a guide, it's just going to show you what is possible with this talent setup. So Everfrost, Remorseless Winter deals 6% damage to enemies it hits, stacking up to 10 times. What you can do is start with Remorseless Winter and then do a Pillar of Frost to get the maximum amount of damage possible from the get-go. You also have Biting Cold, which is improving a 35% increased damage of Remorseless Winter. Baseline, if you're touching 3 different enemies, you will gain Rhyme, which is also quite good. There is also a new, not a new talent, but there's also a good talent here, which is Gathering Storm, which each rune spent during Remorseless Winter increases its damage by 10% and extends its duration by 0.5 seconds. So you could actually slap. For example, I'm going to show you. You can just do your Obliterate, Rhyme, proc, Frost Strike, again trying to get like the damage going. Have 8, then you pop your Pillar of Frost and you will get still the full value of that talent. So I'm going to show you once we have it ready. Most likely you're going to get a weak aura for that, or you're going to be very good at tracking those buffs, which are on the upright. You could play around that. As you see, winning streak, you get like pretty consistent damage on your frost strike increase, which is always going to be quite nice. So I'm going to show you, it's not going to be maximum burst because there is also a few things that you can play around, which is obviously the proc from your rune of the Fallen Crusader, maybe your badge, whatnot. But let's try it out. For example, I'm gonna pop Remorseless Winter. I'm gonna try to stack as much as I can. I'm gonna pop my damage on Pillar Frost, and this is like a lot of damage. I still have my increase of damage. It only stacks to 10%, but this is like a full value big Remorseless Winter, which does a lot of damage. And at the end, you still have Remorseless Winter here, so you could still roll it with still a lot of damage, but the damage will stop from the Death's Cold Embrace because it's only active whenever you're going to get Pillar Frost. Now, I'm going to show you the damage of Remorseless Winter, and this is single target, and it's a PvP talent, so it should not be nerfed in PvP because it doesn't make sense. It needs to be nerfed on the PvP tooltip because it's a PvP talent, so it's not going to be hidden. This is going to be the damage that you're going to do real time, except there is no versatility, but even then 15% less, it's not going to be a big deal. But I did a normal hit of 1.3 million, pretty much 1.2 million. Average did 500k, and that's with counting the little hits that it did with Remorseless Winter at the start. So I did a crit of 126, and when I popped the Pillar Frost, once I have everything stacked up, it does 1.2 million. Now, will it get nerfed? I think it will get nerfed. But it seems like a very fun talent, but the DPS is really big. Like it's a single target damage that I'm doing, right? It's 50 million. It did more damage than my Obliterate. Critting. I did also more damage than my Frost Strike. I didn't even like paid attention to using my killing machines. Like I just wanted to have the most amount of damage on my Remorseless Winter, so I didn't really do the optimal thing. But this damage is really insane. Now, there is a trade-off, right? You're very slow. I'm going to show you once I have done the AoE. So let's say you have gripped 3 guys and you're Blinding Sleet. For example, Remorseless Winter on them, Blinding Sleet, putting your Death and Decay, why not? You still have 3 seconds. I'm gonna pop, and then this is like a lot of damage, like. And remember, I don't have like the full gear from the next season, right? And you can still roll it, like another Remorseless Winter, still have 10 stacks on it, and you can still roll the damage, right? This is like unhealable, most likely. It's never going to happen. You can even like put like a big Frostworm, and those 3 are going to most likely die because of that. It does a lot of damage. It's incredibly strong. I did 53 million, and it's over how many minutes, seconds? I don't even know. Like, isn't it written somewhere? I think it's written here. 36 seconds. So it did a lot of damage. I do think they are going to nerf it. It's not going to stay, but I crit it for 1.8 million. It's insanely fun. I'm not gonna lie, I want it to stay, but I think the damage is going to be nerfed by half, because there is a setup. You could just do Remorseless Winter, get a lot of like those procs. You don't even have to have max proc, because you will get it anyways, because you did Pillar Frost, you will do it Obliterate anyway, so you will have 10 stacks of the stacking buff that you will have with Gathering Storm. And that alone will just give you a lot of burst. So it will be nerfed. 1000% is a bit too much. I even think it's even worth it if it was 200%. I think if it's lower than that, it becomes not that good. But 1000%, I think it's too much. So it has to be at least divided by 2, if not by 3 maybe. But the maximum is divided by 5. If they divide it even more than that, I think it would be just not that good. So that's my opinion about Death's Call Embrace. Now let's show you the negative about it, right? It's very slow. You are literally slowed by a what does slow you like this? I guess a Chains of Ice, and you cannot cheat it with Discharge, right? You cannot do that. You could maybe do with this. I'm gonna test it. So for example, with this, I'm going to test it really quickly for you guys, and then I'm going to call off the video. If anything, there is no other changes towards Rite of the Apocalypse nor the Deathbringer. I think Deathbringer will be not used for this build because I still think Rite of the Apocalypse is probably the better one for this build. You could maybe, I don't know, if there is a talent that is going to improve the damage, why not? I do believe it's like a bait to go for Deathbringer with this build. I mean, if those are runes, but imagine if that like Frost Decay is going to the like team fight in RBGs, for example, and you're going to obliterate everyone because you pressed a button. It would be funny, but I think it would be a bit too strong. And it's not hard to set up. Like, yes, you need 8 seconds before it happens, but you have Blinding Sleet, you have a stun. Most likely they're not going to pop a CD because they didn't see a Pillar of Frost anyways. And once you pop Pillar of Frost, it's instant. I wish there was like someone to test it on. Can I test Duel, please? I want to test it really quickly. I want to test it real quickly. Please, please come back. Please let me test. All those PVers, man. Can I test? I'm gonna try to test it live. Hopefully it does something. I don't know, nobody. Like, that guy was jumping around, bro. Can I test? It's a horde, he doesn't know. Ugh. I need alliance. Because I need to see if it's going to be good damage or not. For that I need to. Hello. Can I test? Real quick. Please. Yo. Please, why do they decline? Like, there is nothing to, like, I swear, like, PTR stuff. I just want to test the damage, but I guess they are not okay with it. I don't know. I'm gonna try it again. Please. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna test. Okay, guys, so it works. Okay, thank you. It works. Wow, man, 1.6 million. It's crazy. And I know he's probably not like well geared either. Like, he's like full PvE, so versatility is not a thing. But it's still a lot, and I didn't like do anything. I didn't put like all my CDs. I didn't have like all the procs. I popped it very soon because I thought like maybe I would overkill him anyways, but it did a lot of damage. So I'm gonna put a timestamp at the end with the test on a player, and hopefully nobody's going to skip it to that. But it's insane. So it should be nerfed. So it should be at least nerfed by half, if not by 3, and ideally not more than 5, because it still needs to be like worthy to be taken. It increases the CD of your burst, right? So it needs to have like something going on. But anyways, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye. Oh, one more thing. I wanted to test something, right? it doesn't work. Okay, so you're slowed regardless. Doesn't matter if you have Rework or not. So you cannot cheat the speed of that spell. But yeah, it's interesting. Anyways, thank you. Have a great day. Bye.